Yo, what is going on YouTube world? This is KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y. I'm your brother Reza, and I'm back at you wrenching in the parking deck. And it's summer/spring, so I have on my my summer wrenching in the parking deck attire. And today's wrenching in the parking deck is gonna be all about doing brakes on the W211. Okay, so why am I doing the brakes on my new to me E55 wagon? The reason is the brakes that were put on here by the previous owner suck. Like, these brakes are loud and they squeak so bad. And they've probably been on here maybe 500-600 miles max, but they make so much noise. And I took them off and I put some brake silencer on them and reinstalled them. I made sure everything was clean. And I mean, they got better by maybe 1/3 or maybe a quarter, but they still squeak and they're really annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to upgrade my brakes to the amazing and fabulous Akebono ceramic brake pads. Ooh, look at that. Aren't they beautiful? So I'm going to go ahead and throw these on and make sure that everything is clean and everything is lubricated that needs to be lubricated. So hopefully my brakes make no noise, because it sounds really, really bad to be driving in a car this beautiful and your brakes had to squeak. Oh, another thing is that look how bad these things dust. Now this is a week worth of brake dust. Look how bad that is from just a week of driving. So hopefully these pads right here will get rid of some of that, and it'll be a lot cleaner for a few weeks instead of 7 days, and your wheel already turns black. So let's get started. To do this job is actually fairly easy. The first thing you gotta do is obviously chalk your wheels, etc. Take all the precautions necessary when jacking your vehicle up. Make sure your vehicle's not gonna fall on you, all that kind of cool and safety stuff that you really should pay attention to and be mindful of, because safety is definitely paramount. And once you get your car up, take your wheel off. And once you take the wheel off, if you're just doing the pads on this car, it's very, very easy. If you're doing the rotors, it's a little bit more complex, but the pads are fairly simple. And the most important thing that you need is, follow me, one of these right here. These little punch tools are what you need to knock the pins out that hold the actual brake pads in the actual caliper. And once you use this to knock the pins out, the pads has pretty much come out. So we're gonna go through that right now. All right, so when you're taking these pads off, I'm gonna show you real quick how easy and simple it is. One of the first things you want to do is remove your little your brake pad wear sensor right here. And this, typically you can just pull it like this and it comes right off. It just slides into your actual brake pad, and once typically, well, the way that this works is once your pad wears down to a certain point, this is going to make contact with your rotor and it's going to let you know that, oh, you need brake pads. But to take these off is actually like not a very difficult job at all. You just take a little I forget what this thing is called. I don't know why I forget the names of these tools when I'm actually recording, but I can remember them any other time. But you take this right here and you pretty much knock this pin out right here with a hammer. And once this pin comes all the way out, then you can remove both of these pads and this actual brake hardware right here. So I guess I can demonstrate that for you. And typically when doing something like this, you want to wear safety glasses. So keep that in mind. But put the your little knocker like that, and then you tap the pin comes out, and actually I think on this one you have to remove this first. I think, is it on this one? Yes. On these you need a 10mm Torx bit to actually pull this part off first. I think I can actually slide this off without that. Let's see. I think it's the front where you absolutely have to have it. Yeah, it's the front. Let me get my flathead and push this a little. Sorry, y'all. My tripod broke from my my LED light, so I took all the legs off of it. Okay. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna push this shim down, and that's gonna free up this pin. Like that. Come on. Let me get a little bit more comfortable. It's not hitting that. There it goes. It just needed a little bit more convincing, but these things come out really super easy. This one was a little stuck for some reason this time around, but I'm gonna grease it up and put it when I put it back in. And then just like that, your little retainer comes out and you can just clean this up. And then you do the same thing with this pan. Oops, not that. With this, there you go. You want to be careful not to hammer your actual caliper and mess up the nice pretty finish that they put on here. And you see how easy that one slid out? That's how it's supposed to slide out. But once your pins are out, your pads come out fairly simple. Before I pull that pad out, let me disconnect the ABS, not ABS, but the brake wear sensor. And then you can just slide your pads out like so. And that's pretty much it. So you pretty much do the same thing all the way around. Now you can see where I added more of the actual brake vibration, damper, quieter, brake silencer, lube stuff on here. But it really didn't make much of a difference. Well, actually, I'll take that back. It made a massive difference, because before I did that, it was squealing really bad. But now it just squeals a little bit on the front wheels. But while I'm doing it, I'm gonna go ahead and do all of the wheels. So now it's time for a time lapse. Sit, and then I'm going to go ahead and lube the parts that need to be lubed, all the friction points, well, the contact points of the metals and stuff, using, where did it go? Using this product right here. I've never tried it before, but I'm going to try it now. And put it on the pins and stuff like that, and put it on different places where the actual brake pads slide and stuff like that. So got to try this and see how it works. So there's some metal points in here where your brake pads actually make contact with the caliper, and you're just gonna lube those carefully and not get the lube on the actual rotor. So that's what I'm about to do now. Alright, so that's done. So now all we got to do is take our pads, and install our pads, and reconnect our brake wear sensor stuff, and that'll be done, and we can move on to the next one. It's pretty much wash and repeat after that. Alright, so now we're going to carefully install the pads. And we're going to start by installing this pad right here. And it fits in like so. Now we're going to do the next one right here. Wow, these pads are actually a lot thinner than these cheap pads that I just took off. That's interesting. It slid like right in with literally no force whatsoever. Now, because these pads are so loose, I'm going to put these pins in next. And the pins in this, I guess this is called a silencer bracket. I can't remember. But this bracket basically puts tension on everything to keep these from vibrating. Anti-squeal bracket or something like that. It has some weird name that I can't remember. So now I'm going to put a little bit of this on here. And then I'll do the other one as well. So, whoa! Whew, almost dropped it, everything's so greasy. Oh, this way. And then this part goes under there like so. And this part slides onto there. And then all you gotta do is get in there and hammer that part in. And then I'll come on this side. Do this pretty much the same thing. I already got plenty of grease on my hands, so I'm gonna go ahead and grease this like that. Get that pin through. That pin is in. I'm gonna use my screwdriver to press that down. Now you gotta line all these up. This is the only part that's a little bit, not even tricky or difficult, but you just wanna make sure that this pin is lined up through this pad, and then so it can come out through this hole. And you see how I can just move it like that and shift it back and forth. So you just want to make sure that it's lined up, and then you can see where the pin comes all the way through on this side of your caliper. Now all you gotta do is tap back into place with your trusty old hammer. So you want to be careful. You just want to give it a couple of whacks, and it's all the way through. Same thing up here. Carefully, a couple of whacks on the back side, and there you go. Brake pads are back in. Everything looks nice and greasy and oiled, and well, the parts are supposed to be greasy and oiled. And last thing I need to do is reinstall my wear sensor. So this goes in like this into that little hole right there. Oops, but it has to sit on the edge of this of the actual pad, then go into the holes and line up, and then it clicks into place. You feel it when it's clicking in place, and then you take this part and reconnect it over here like so, and then you hear it click, and that is the Mercedes seal of quality when you hear it click. And that's that. So you gotta just repeat that same thing over and over again. You hear that? Wow. It stops so nice, and it's so clear, and not clear, but quiet. It's just amazing. So I would say that the brake job was a success. Those cheap brake pads that came on this car, I mean, those things are basically like trying to stop your car with a pair of donuts. Like, they were the worst brake pads I literally ever had on any car in my 20-something plus years of driving and owning cars. Like, I've literally never seen a pair of pads on a vehicle that when you hit the brake, no matter what speed you're going, no matter what you're doing, it always squealed. Like, most pads, I have like a sweet spot where we're like, oh, okay, in this area, blah, blah, blah. If I put this much pressure at this speed, this pad will squeal. This pad, you just hit stop at any time. If you're stopping the car, it's squealing. It was the most horrendous pad I've ever felt on a single vehicle ever in my life. And the other thing was that they dusted really, really bad. Like, just 7 days of driving and my entire wheel will be black. So yeah, terrible pads. And now you gotta go get the car washed because it has handprints and stuff all over the wheels, and everything is dirty. And we're about to go to this little car meetup thing and see what that's all about. But I'm very happy that the brake pads are now quiet and operating the way they are supposed to. This is KRT LYFE, KRT LYFE with the Y. I'm your brother Reza. You can do your own pads on this car. It's so simple and so easy. All you really need is a hammer and a punch. A punch. That's what I was trying to figure out yesterday. I couldn't remember what that thing was called that you need to push the pins out. But yes, a punch, a hammer, some basic tools. And yeah, you can easily do the brakes in your E55 or any other AMG car for that matter. Well, most of the older ones, because y'all had the same brakes. But anyway, peace, laters. I gotta go. I can't really disappear right now, so I guess I'm gonna slowly recline my seat in an awkward manner.